You explained the historic strategy very well, which is Apple's not raised prices. It has removed the bottom tier of handset and only offered a premium. So what happens next?
Currently, there is precedent for Apple raising prices outside of the US. We've seen it post Brexit in the UK. We've seen price adjustments in the European Union. We saw 25% iPhone price hikes in 2022 in Japan, seen some adjustments in Canada and Australia. But you're right, in the US, it's been pretty stagnant. It's actually been one of the only things in the technology world over the last decade that's been pretty consistent. But given these tariffs, something's got to give. And there's going to be adjustments with suppliers. They're going to push suppliers to give them better pricing. They're going to eat some of the costs themselves. They're going to make supply chain changes. But ultimately, I do strongly believe they will have to make some price adjustments, probably with the iPhone 17 launch later in the year. And this is going to be a big sea change for Apple. Obviously, it's a big shift, but they do have some ways to help the consumer here. They've got a trade-in program. They have installment plans through all the carriers now. So I think from a consumer standpoint, it's not going to be a massive negative. Now, we've seen some analyst reports and commentary over the last few days. I saw one website claim that a made in USA iPhone would cost $30,000 per unit. I've seen analyst notes saying a made in USA iPhone could cost $3,000 to $3,500. The good news is that these are completely misguided. Apple's not moving production to the US, certainly not for the iPhone. What you're going to see is them moving to more of these safe havens outside of China that are pushing that are going to get hit with tariffs, but less so. India, for instance, prior to Trump's post earlier today about a 50% tariff, India was at 50% of the size of the tariff on China, coming in around 26% versus the prior 54%, right? And so that is a big improvement. Vietnam is in the high 40s, but that's still an improvement over the 54%. And they've been stuffing the US channel over the last several months with more units in order to avoid those tariffs.
Can I quickly get your expertise on what Tim Cook is thinking about right now as well? We all thought he was a marvelous politician in and of himself, the way in which he'd managed to navigate the previous administration. How much do you think he's desperately trying to get some sort of carve out?
Extremely desperately, but it seems like Trump, as we expected, is even more emboldened in his second tour or his second term. And he is doing whatever he wants at this point. It doesn't seem like he's working with companies on exemptions. It doesn't seem like he cares about who showed up to his inauguration. It doesn't seem to care that Apple said they're going to invest $500 billion in the US basically because of him. He's just doing whatever he wants. And it doesn't seem like he's taking the impact into account.
Yeah. There's how this is playing out in markets and the stock analysis, and then there's how it's playing out in the culture, how everyday people talk about MAGA and tariffs and Apple. This is a video from a post that Overheard on Wall Street made. And I'm not sharing it with you, Mark, flippantly. But they're suggesting that in the future, Wall Street analysts will quit and start assembling iPhones in the Midwest, as far as I can tell. You said that won't happen. Just explain in 30 seconds why.
I mean, there's certainly, they have the right to quit their jobs and become manufacturing workers, but I don't anticipate Apple moving outside of Asia in any considerable way. The one thing I do see them doing is decentralizing their supply chain, right? But I don't see that coming to the US. I think you'll see more production in parts of South America, right? Maybe parts of Europe, maybe more parts of India and China, but I don't think Midwest manufacturing facilities to create iPhones are coming anytime soon. I certainly don't think they're on the table right now.